You know, a person being resilient means that they are strong and they are not going to allow people to just get away with so much. All of us who have self love, we're going through our own journeys. We're going through moments where we are having to be strong, moments that sometimes we can be a little weakened, and we say, okay, I'm going to say my affirmations, or I'm going to set my intentions a little higher. I'm going to meditate today. There's so many different things, so many different ways that we can try to get through our days, because there are going to be some days that we are totally engrossed by the issues that are at hand at that moment or time. By the way, thank you for joining us. This is lovely being you. And during these times when we're going through these trials and tribulations, we try to reach to God for strength, because, like I said, you can ask other people for assistance. You can even ask family members. People sometimes will even not hear you out. They'll listen to other people over you and believe whatever words are coming out of that person's mouth, not realizing that the injustices that you go through, that it sometimes can be quite challenging. It's almost like you have relatives, you have friends, and sometimes you go to really have a heart-to-heart talk. Sometimes it's better to have that heart-to-heart talk with God, because God is actually here to listen to you, and He wants to hear from you. Recently, there's been so much going on. My grandmother passed away. Nobody contacted me to let me know. Everyone has my email address, because my sister as well as my father have contacted me via email, but no one has told me that my grandmother's passed. And it's disappointing, and it's quite painful to know that people will do all sorts of things just for money. And my grandmother came to me in a dream, and she said, I can do more, I can help you more on this side than I ever could there. She said that so many people were in charge of me, and I didn't really have a voice. But she said, I'm free now. Sometimes it's the challenges that you have to meet daily can be so energy consuming. But the disappointment of it all is that to know that people know more and they give you less. I learned early on that, you're either going to be a part of the problem or part of the solution. It's one of the reasons why I went into teaching, because I wanted to be a part of the solution, to help our children persevere, to help them to believe in themselves, and to be stern with them, to let them know that you can't get away with everything. Because I was met with a person in my past who got away with everything. This man got away with everything. And I mean, to see children come into the room and be tensed up when they come into a man's presence. I was faced with that by an uncle growing up. Coming into the room and afraid to walk across the person, past the person, because you knew they were going to slap you in the head or punch you in the chest. That's a scary thing. It's a scary experience to have, And when I look at this, I say, sometimes people will let children get away with so much, so that when they become adults, they because it was laughed at when they were children, now they think it's cute when they're adults. I had a man in the past tell people that he got something from me when I hadn't seen this man in years. I looked on my cell phone and I realized that we did have, the last conversation was in, I believe, July of 2020, when I told him to never come cross my paths again. And I had to be firm on it, because this person believes that they can get away with anything, and they just hurt people and don't even take any responsibility. I recently found out that he coupled up with a relative of mine. And it was so disappointing to me that that person would even give this man an opportunity and then have a child with him. This person has always been that from the time that I moved away, I realized that even before I moved away, certain signs, you see certain things in a person's body language. You hear things in a person's tone. You look above their head and you see, what kind of energy does this person have? What kind of light is shining above that head? Is there a halo there? Or is that black muck above that person's head? And I'm not saying this to be spiteful or anything. I'm just saying that a lot of people, we tend to give them a pass when they don't deserve a pass. This person should be in all sorts of lawsuits for always trying to get away with or getting over on other people. And it's quite disappointing that society has not decided to step up and make such a decision. Because, I remember going to the police station and making a report based upon stating that this person has been following me. And, well, all these different excuses you get, when I know that based upon a cell phone, if nothing else, you can still be able to see exactly where a person is. They can't lie but so much. But you have to be resilient. You have to be strong regardless of, because you know what? When you are not strong, people take you for weak, and the funny thing is I was nice. When I was in South Carolina, I was being nice to people, and they assume, okay, I could just get over on her because, she's just. But the funny thing about it is, I wouldn't, first of all, regardless of how a person behaves, as long as a person is nice and respectful, why is it that people find themselves always having to overpower another person because they thought the person was nice? It's important that we have some form of resilience, to be strong and to know that, you're standing with God. God is watching over you and protecting you. And there are going to be a lot of different tests that he allows people to get away with in some cases. Meaning not get away with it, but he allows people to test you and do certain things. Because sometimes it's important that he see how we are going to react. Are we going to speak up on our own behalf? Are we going to help other people? Or are we going to be selfish and just take this and steal or what have you? There's a lot of people who have been getting away with a great deal, I had this dream, my uncle was saying, that it's just disappointing that his family would have participated in such actions. I love my pop. He was the best uncle, father figure I ever had in my life. Carlton Jenkins. People never disrespected him. And it's partially because of the way he stood. And he didn't take your mess. Some people may have gotten over on certain things, but you could go but so far. Because God is going to slap that hand after a while, because there's no way in the world that people should even try certain individuals, Why even bother? If you're so focused on what it is that you need to be doing, you wouldn't even have time to mess with someone else, And it is disappointing, that family would not share certain information. When I separated myself because I saw the injustices that were happening, and I was not about to allow myself to continue to be disrespected. Then my ex comes into my community and tries to turn people against me in my own community. All because you leave. I don't understand how people come up with some of the things that they do. When you're unhappy, angry people, or should I say hurt people, hurt other people, why don't you go ahead and get some counseling so that you don't have to hurt someone else? Or even just get on your own platform and work on your own behalf. Stole my content, all these different things. I just don't understand how it is that people feel so privy to take from other people. It's not like I have so much, but even what I have had, I share. I just don't understand it. I think that we need to really start holding people accountable. You got a judge and a lawyer and a crooked cop who colluded to steal money that was not theirs, okay? The money that was supposed to go to the rightful person You decided that you were going to work against the law system. And you see the judge is getting sick right now too. All of these things that you do to work against innocent individuals, that's my lineage you stole from. It's not just me. So for you to have done so much, gone to the Social Security office and filed certain paperwork so that they could prove, I don't know how they got this, paid this doctor to state that I was not mentally stable, so that they could get a check. The check has my name on it. It's supposed to come to me, and it's going to my aunt. For them to even come up with such plans means they've done this before. Means they've done this to other people, other innocent bystanders who are probably homeless right now. And that's how I know, with all these injustices, God is going to definitely make it right. And he's going to make it right because he's going to put the right people in the right positions to handle the situation. Because in all honesty, for you to come together and to hurt innocent individuals and to take and steal from it, people have been stealing from all of my platforms. I've not seen a penny from either one of them. And I've not gotten one check. But yet, I guarantee you they probably have something with my name on it, lying and saying that they've been paying me. It's important that you realize that with all the injustices that are going on right now, God is going to balance it out. I know that for a fact. So, those individuals who think that they can do so much harm to their communities and get away with it, throw the rock and hide your hand, Shirley. Throw the rock and hide your hand, Joe. Go right on ahead. And you too, Kay. Continue to throw the rocks and hide your hand. But that hand is now going to get a slap. And you better hope that slap doesn't come with cuffs. Because they could slap a cuff on around that wrist real fast too, based upon the horrible things that you've done. Let us be mindful of the company that we keep too, because if these people are colluding with other people and making such bad choices, and you find yourself in the midst of it, you don't want to be a part of that, because you don't want to find yourself in a bad situation as well. So we're going to pray over this situation, because in all honesty, these people who've been getting away with so much need to sit down and open up their book of prayer, or they need to pray and ask God for forgiveness for doing so much. Okay? You have to be resilient during this lifetime, because I'm going to tell you, people see or sense a bit of weakness, they try to take total advantage. And I'm sorry to bring such a message today, but it's been on my heart, and too much has been going on, and too many people getting away with too much. So somebody's got to say something. And not only that, Joe Ferguson, the children that have been in your environment have been disrespected. You have mistreated those children. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that poor girl who has been complaining and nobody's paying attention. You see, the children should never even been in a position to even be there. I don't know where the parents are as to how these children have found themselves in an environment. When you have an environment where people just allowing their children to run free, I don't know if these children are adopted. I don't know what's going on. But somebody needs to step up. And I don't know. If he's not incarcerated at this point, he should be. And somebody needs to question his behavior towards these children, and not actually taking responsibility for the children that you have is another problem. You know, if that is your son, you need to take care of that son and stop finding yourself and compromising yourself, and not taking the responsibility for that child. You know, that's why we have to be so careful who we decide to have children with, because these people, sometimes they just make the worst choices.